What's up, everybody?
Hello, all. What's up? We got OG Gaming in the house showing up as chill watchers today. Just chilling. Just chilling today. What about you, Bomb? What are you up to these days?
Taking it one day at a time, Finn. But right now, Saturday's just a great day. It's a little overcast, but just relaxing a bit. How about you?
I'm pretty good. I think we have carried over from last week. We don't have it in one of the topics that we're talking about today, but I think we have an announcement from you
Oh,
of something special that has happened that Hello has helped to make happen.
that
I don't
is
know if you want
true.
to say anything. And Chris is in a good mood today too, so it looks like you guys are going to be pals today, not the frenemies that you sometimes are. but do
That's
you want to
fair.
share some of this good news, or do you want to hold off until like maybe after we cover topic one?
Let's
I
hold
don't know. It's
off
up to
until
you.
after we cover some topics, and then we can dive into that one. But yeah, I should.
Okay.
I'll make a post today too on Twitter about it. But yes,
That's
um,
pretty exciting stuff.
it
And so
is.
I'm looking forward to sharing that because that's like the stuff that dreams are made of right
It
there.
is. It
So,
is.
oh
It is
yeah,
very true. That is a great
that's big
call.
time.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you, did you have a chance to finish episode 2? I know you've been busy this weekend and you probably didn't have as much time as you typically would. I've had some trouble actually streaming the episode on my phone, but it works really
Yes.
well on my desktop. It's like
I
it's a perennial load. It
I've
never stops
yes.
loading.
I've tried
Do you
three
have the
different
same thing?
times on my phone, so we need to. I'm gonna message some people today, try to figure it out, see what maybe it's an issue with my phone or something. But no, I have the
It's me
episode
too.
open here. We're halfway through. I have seen a lot of clips of the last uh,
Okay.
presentation, if you will,
So hold on. You're
but
gonna give an episode 2 review. I'm just gonna want to make sure I
of
have this
what I've
clear.
seen, of what
Oh,
I've
what you've
seen.
seen. Okay, so you haven't even seen the end of the episode. Okay, that's how far you are. You're a little bit more than
Yes.
halfway, it looks like. I
Yes.
watched the episode, my gosh, like 10 minutes after it comes out.
I
Here,
I
I'm like
tried
watching the
on
episode.
my phone because I was at work
Ah,
and I tried to do it right
that's
away,
fair.
but I don't trust signing into my work computer on my wallet, so therefore I
Okay.
won't be doing it at work on the desktop. But yes, so far it's
Say.
a great episode, but
Sounds good to me. Well, I saw the whole episode, and I have to say, I liked this episode more than I liked the other one. Just
okay,
because I feel like they had a couple of things in this episode that they didn't have in the other one. One, I felt like they gave each project a bit more time. I don't know if that was because they had fewer projects for this
mm,
episode, but it felt like they had more space to have a dialogue. They had more, like a little bit more backstory. It felt like they dug in a little bit further with each of the projects,
yeah,
and I felt like you connect with them a little bit more than you connected in the first episode
yeah,
because everyone was kind of like, wait, what do they do? Like, what is it? But I felt like with all of these projects, no one was asking that question. You actually knew what they did. You felt connected to each of their personal stories, whether it was the first project, second project, or third project. Like you knew something personal about the those giving the presentation. So
right,
I thought it was really good. I think the like you kind of got connected to this certain projects. I don't want to spoil too much, but we also kind of have to review it. So
right.
also going to reveal a little bit of what was said there. I think some people were shocked. What's up? We got Mike here. Mike is in the house. Good
What's
to see you, Mike,
good?
and Piff, as well as Jasmine in here as well. What's up, all? I think that one of the big things that shocked a lot of people, and I'm saying a lot of people because I saw some posts online about this on X, was Noom. I think a lot of people were surprised that Noom didn't do as well as they thought it was going to do on the episode. It got one swim and it got four sinks. And so people were like, wow, like I really liked the project. And it started this discussion about whether or not it should have gotten that many sinks. Personally, I think it's a great idea, a cool project. I think it could have been explained better. And I
Yeah.
don't think they did as good a job explaining it on the show as they could have done.
I
So,
mean, can you imagine you start a project with somebody like this and that's the first time meeting up though? Like that's crazy.
yeah,
That
that
is
was pretty
crazy.
cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. So for those that maybe haven't seen the episode, it was the presenter from Nooms. It was their first time, like the co-founder and co-CEOs. It was the first time they had ever met one another in person. It had
Mm.
always been digital, always been remote, so they got to meet each other for the first time. I thought the first project, and the name is escaping me, the ticketing, so you just had it up in front of you there.
Celebratics.
Are they still around? Because I haven't seen very much activity on X. I think the most recent post was like a
I doubt
while
it.
ago. But here's the interesting thing that I think. I think with Killer Whales, they all thought that he wouldn't succeed. Like they were like, nope, I like prove us wrong, but I don't think like this is something that's going to be successful. So I don't know if it is or if it isn't, but I think it's interesting that like following the show, you haven't heard a whole lot about it. Like it's a good idea, but there's no execution, or at least from what I've
Right,
seen.
right.
So it seems like the judges have kind of gotten the calls right for the most part from what I've seen, at least on this episode. And then, of course, we had FX1, which that's where the drama took place. I don't know if you guys have, again, seen the rest of the episode, like Bomb, I don't think has. But basically, Bomb's got to still see this section. But what happened with FX1? You had two you had two swims and three sinks, and one of the original two judges was Ran, and he sank for FX1. But then after hearing the things that other people were talking about and their answers to the project, he actually changed at the very end. He said, I'm going to change mine to a swim because I think you guys just lack the business plan or business model that I think it will take to be successful. So I'd like to mentor you guys and help you be successful, which
Yeah.
again, since the show, I think you've seen like projects like FX1 have really like stepped into the mainframe and done an awful lot in the 2 quarters since then, and they have big plans for this quarter and next quarter. So it's kind of like, when they do get that swim vote, there seems to be the judges seem to be kind of onto something, which is kind of cool that they have that much of an accurate opinion from at least my perspective. Let us know what you
Yeah.
guys think of the comments, like if you guys feel the same way. Hassan is here with a couple of apples, which yes, we'll get to in just a second. But anything else that you would cover there, Bomb, from episode 1?
So far, yeah, like you were saying, I still haven't finished it completely. I'm still going through it. For those of you that have the NFTs, it's free, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I think so far I've heard these two, kind of the first two, and I'm waiting to get to FX1 because I do think that's where a lot of stuff happens, and I've seen a lot of stuff. But yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. Here's an interesting thing that the judges have said about probably every single project that I just want to understand. They always say, okay, great. So how are you different from the Zillow? How are you different from the Spotify? And it's like,
Right,
well, what, like, everybody's like different when you're on crypto. Like there is a difference by being on crypto. Like I get that. So are we looking for
right.
like a completely new idea like Shark Tank, or are we looking for like, hey, let's kryptonize, if you will, new word pending.
No, that's
Um,
very good. I like that.
kryptonize. Wow, that's pretty good. No, are we? Is like, isn't that the goal of what we're trying to do? Is to bring more people into it and like change the way it's normally run to now do this? Like, even if they are competitors of Spotify, let's say for the Newham, like,
Right,
let's say they are. Oh, so what? Like, let's say they
right,
are, and they were the ones that now bridge it to where Spotify now says, "Oh, we're gonna do that too." Like,
right.
okay, like
Or
we
like
created that.
FX1, yeah, like what makes you different from like DraftKings or
Right,
like something like right, like
right.
what makes you different from like an online. So basically, you're saying that the thing that all these projects are really doing, it's not like they're transforming the industry, but they kind of are because they're making everything visible on the blockchain. Like
Right.
everything, they're basically implementing something that the companies that exist today aren't going to have the stones to do because it could
Exactly.
completely upset their model. So it's kind of the test case. That was actually what wasn't that what Noom said? Or one of the projects said on the
Yes.
episode that
Right,
like
right.
no, that is the value is that they don't want to take the chance. It actually might have been the first project.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good point, and I agree with you. Like yeah, that is the difference
Right.
because like you can have a large betting platform, but they're not just going to say, "Oh, we accept crypto today," unless there's a
Right.
proof of concept, which these companies kind of serve as that proof of
Right.
concept before it gets
Which
there.
which could be like, hey, they end up buying them out or whatever. Like that's what it is. But I think that's just an
Yeah.
interesting way to look at it and kind of say like, well, yeah, that's nobody's gonna do it. You're not gonna have Zillow that's gonna start accepting crypto for like like that's not something that's
Right.
just gonna happen overnight. Like this is
Unless
gonna
there's a huge market for it that's already proven.
right, exactly,
Right.
exactly.
100%. All right. So Apple TV, let's move on to topic number 2 here. Apple TV was a pretty big announcement. This was something we had kind of prefaced on the last show or right after the last show that the Sanders said that on Monday there was kind of a big announcement coming, and this was the big announcement, right? We've got Apple TV as one of the streaming platforms that Hello is going to be streaming Killer Whales on starting on March 11th. It's going to be out on Apple TV. Now, I just want your first reaction to this bomb because I think personally there were some people that were like obviously really excited and some people that were like not as excited as I felt like they should be. I
Yeah,
guess like there were some people that were like, "Oh, that's not that big of a deal." I think it's a huge deal. I think there were 5 streaming platforms where I was like, if it's any one of these, I will be impressed. If it's a Hulu, if it's a Netflix, if it's an Apple, if it's an Amazon Prime, if it's a Peacock, like those 5 right there, I was like, if it's one of those 5, like they did really good to use their connections to get through the door. So I thought it was a swim, if we're going to use that language. It was a swim
right.
for me. I thought it was really good that they had that. What about you? What were your thoughts when you saw Apple?
Yeah, I think it's a top name, 100% top name, one of the best I think out there, right? And a lot of people are using it. A lot of people love it. They've got great shows, like somebody was talking about, like Ted Lasso, great show on there, right?
Yeah.
Um, I
By the way, Ted Lasso on Apple TV was the most streamed original show last year of
really,
any platform of any show. Just a little fun piece of knowledge there.
wow,
So most original streamed show. It wasn't the most streamed show. That award went to Suits on Netflix, I believe.
right,
But the
right.
most streamed original, like the most watch hours, were Ted Lasso on Apple TV. So for people thinking, oh, there's not a lot of traffic on Apple TV, there's loads of traffic.
Yeah,
There's actually the most traffic of any original show coming out was on Apple TV. So Killer Whales, we're talking like this is the first directorial debut on Apple TV of a crypto project. Like this is a good space to be. And again, this is the first of many streaming
right,
platforms that are going to be announced. So
right.
just keep that in mind. But
Yeah.
anyway, I
Um,
I thought that was huge.
no, yeah, I think this is one of the biggest things because when you think of a big name, at least for us, maybe in the United States, we think Apple TV, Peacock, Hulu, Netflix. But I would put Apple TV in that top tier category of Netflix and whatnot, right? Because
Yeah.
that's just where it is. So I think that is a massive
Let me
swim.
put it this way. Yeah, let me this will probably be a little bit like there are only so many subscriptions I have to
Hmm.
streaming platforms.
Yep.
I have and have held an Apple TV streaming subscription, like I've held a Prime, like I've held a Netflix.
Yes. Yep.
Those 3 I
Yes.
hold, right?
Yes.
The other and Disney Plus too, I think. I
Okay.
can't
Well,
remember if
that's
I
not
still
going to
hold
happen for
it.
Killer Whales. I mean,
Yeah, it's not going to happen for Killer Whales on
right.
Disney Plus. Watch these projects get sunk.
Right,
No,
right.
but I think like those are the big ones where it's like, oh, that's where you have an audience. But
Yeah.
beyond that, when you get into like maybe Peacock doesn't even make it in that tier in the
It
US,
doesn't.
probably
Mm-mm.
probably not, right?
Right.
Like the HBO Maxes or
Right.
the Lifetime whatever, those really don't make it into that tier. But Apple TV is huge,
It
so
it
I thought that
is.
was
Yeah.
awesome.
When you think of it, I mean, again, for me personally, when you think about subscriptions, I mean, I have Amazon, Netflix, and Apple. Like those are the main three that you do, right?
Right.
And then Peacock for me because I love The Office, I have to get it. But other than that, those are the ones that I have. Where if Killer Whales was to come out on Peacock, I'd be like, okay, like that's mid tier, like I get it, like that's okay. But Apple TV, Netflix, or Amazon were like, okay, if we can get one of those, that's massive. And because they're all competing against each other. you know? And
Right.
so those are the main three that butt heads. And I think that's, dude, we landed Apple TV. That's insane. Like, that's amazing. So,
And again, thinking about it, for the first season, we landed Apple TV. I
yes.
think it would be really impressive if we landed it for a second season based on the first season. But like to get on the first season on Apple TV for the first season is incredible. So I think that was just very impressive from the team. I think
Yes.
when it comes to distribution, that was an area where I'm like I know they
Yes.
got good connections and all that stuff, but is this going to be one of those things where it's like, yeah, we have great connections, but we really want this first season to be on the Hello app, and it would be like, okay, cool, but like
Right.
we want it to be more mainstream. But I think they blew my expectations out of the water with the first platform that they announced. Mind you, the first platform. This is the first one
Right.
that it's come out on, right? They've still got loads more to announce to get into that amount of millions of households that they talked about. So, really excited to see what's done there.
Yeah.
Now, awesome announcement there. Now we shift over, I think, topic number 3.
Well,
And I want to get your take on this. Oh,
I
go
was just
ahead.
gonna say real quick before we do that, on the terms of partnerships, I think it's cool to mention like they have partnered with a ton more since that too. For example, like NFT Paris, the Casper Network, like they had um a few. Let me just pull up their Twitter real quick, but they had a few other partnerships that they did. NFT Paris,
I saw
Casper,
that, and so I kind of have, and this is gonna be
yeah.
what's the word? Not confrontation. It's gonna be what am I thinking? Bomb.
Uh,
It's
it's gonna
not
be not confrontational. It's gonna be
controversial.
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 Yeah,
There
yep,
it is. It's gonna be
yep.
controversial. I think. I love the announcements for all the partnerships that they have going on, but I don't really care. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, I don't really, unless like this is like partnership like 20 to 25 at this stage, like of announced partnerships. Hey, this person's helping us source up. Like,
Ethereum
I as
Denver and
yeah,
Foresight Ben.
I think they're great because, and this is where I'm mixed about it, because I think that it's laying a great foundation to build on for season 2 and beyond. But I
Yes.
still feel like there are partnerships that we're partnered with, right, for
Right.
season 1 that we like had announced and we like don't really hear from them anymore, right? Like I feel like there's loads of partnerships. Like if you scroll back like through the like partners that we're partnered with, I feel like I'm like, okay, that's awesome, but like, is there a way that we can generate the tangible, measurable results from all these partners that we're like officially connected to, right? Or like, what is this person like really like do? Can we say like, oh, these 10 projects came from this partnership, or these 15 projects came from this partnership? Because I think when it's just like, hey, there's a partnership announced, it's like, what does that mean? Like awesome, like that's cool, but like
For example, Sony Music and Universal, those were like huge at the beginning, right? And it was like,
right.
all right,
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like there are more like partnerships, which is like awesome, and we've seen what that's translated into from Hackin, from
right,
Altcoin Daily, from BitGet. Like there's been the line connected. I think it would maybe be a cool thing on the website even to show underneath those partnerships what that's meant.
right.
Like Hackin, Judge on Killer
But
Whales
like,
helps to source the projects and keep them that like very
right.
concise there, rather than just like a montage of, or whatever, of like all the names that are
But
listed
like
there. I
my
don't know.
my thought, yeah, it's a great thought, and I think that's true. But like, what if it's like on a bigger scale that we don't know about yet, and it's like, hey, we needed to get all these partnerships to then come full circle and then like deliver something huge, which would be great.
Right.
But when it's like, okay, like we had Killer Whales, like I like, did we utilize Sony Music or Universal? Like, what was the like, what is the like, where's our
That's
avenue
what
with
I'm
that?
saying.
You know?
What is the, and for lack of a better phrase, I know it sounds kind of diminutive, but what is the point, right? Like
Right.
what is and I know for the ones that they've just announced, it makes sense because they're helping us source projects for season 2 and like we want to
Right.
incorporate them in. But it's like, do we need more to source for project 2? Like Sander was saying that we have over 200 applicants still from season 1 that would like to be considered. Plus we've already gotten, I think, like 80 or something like
Right.
that for season 2. So it's like, is there skin in the game for these people that as they're sourcing projects, like they're doing something else in order to source the projects or get that visibility? I don't know. But I think whenever those projects are announced, I'm like, oh, cool. Like there's another one. There's Market Across. There's Moby Media.
Yeah.
Like, but I'd love to see like more of, hey, because we have Moby Media, this is what Moby Media has started to do.
Right.
Like, here's what their specific charge is. Here's some of the things that they've accomplished. Because I do feel like there have been some partnerships where you're like, wait, what happened to that partnership? Like, did
Yeah.
that yield something or did it not as much?
Hmm.
You know, was it just kind of a licensing agreement that we paid to do this with them kind of a
Sure.
thing? So I think that would be cool. That's all I'm saying there. I don't want to,
Right.
again, I trust the team because obviously with their connections with people like Apple
Right.
TV, they know what they're doing. I just think as from a community standpoint, it'd be cool to see what that translates into more
Yes.
so than just like, we have a partnership, they're going to be doing marketing. And it's like, okay, what posts are they doing? Like
Yeah.
what posts have they done? And like how can we see that so that it's like, oh, we can get excited about it because we know X is translating to Y,
Right.
right? And
Right.
like that makes more sense. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's a tangent. Don't want to dive too much down that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we're going to move over here to token utility. So I've been seeing loads of people on Twitter, on Telegram, and we talked about it a little bit last week. Like token utility, we have token utility for the Hello token. Again, I don't know if it's been updated since we talked about it last week in the Telegram, where if you type in like utility with the slash, you get the automated response there. Go ahead. Are you doing it right now?
That's what. Did you do token utility or just utility?
I don't know. I forget. But if you go ahead and do the, let's see if we
I'll
can
just
find the.
Yeah. I'll just search it up.
Do
Real
it
quick.
and, yeah. So updating the token utility because we do have decent token utility. So we have where you can play the games and we have where you can see the episodes early. There's not really more than that right now. So Paul has mentioned in the Telegram, like this is an avenue that they're focusing on. And I think based on what I've seen on Telegram and Twitter, that is what people really want there to be a focus on. And so we were thinking about it this last week, like how can there be greater token utility that we could think of to where we could say like, hey, what do you guys think about this? And we could actually present the token utility to you all and have you guys thinking about it too, so that we can share that, with the team. Like, hey, I don't know if you guys, are doing something like this, but it'd be quick and easy to add this utility, and the team would, or the community would kind of come along with that. Because right now, what I think is happening is the Hello token is what the ecosystem is functioning around, or what it's what it's supposed to function around, right?
Right.
They describe it all the time, even when you type in utility to the Telegram. The token Hello token is at the heart of the Hello ecosystem, right? That's what's said. Right now, it doesn't feel as much at the heart of the Hello ecosystem
Sure.
because you can still participate with like every aspect of the Telegram, whatever, without the Hello token. You can like there's not a whole lot you're missing out on in the Hello ecosystem or like what's going on online without the Hello token. Now, I will say it has been cool to watch the show, and that's definitely a huge value add right there. But I think it would be really cool if they added utility throughout the stages of the show's progress. For example, we talked about this a little bit last week, but this is going to be a little bit more specific. The projects get on the show, right? You then have live, when the show goes live on the Hello app, so this is going to drive traffic through the Hello app, right? You have people that can vote, and
Voting. Yeah.
there's a certain point system that you can vote for the project as the show is going on, and you can vote a Hello token, for example. You can put a Hello token in that. So you're going to have the projects just like they did to try to get on the show. They're going to be reaching out to their people and say, hey, those judges, they didn't give us the swim that we deserved. Let's show them the strength of our community, and that, like, they're
Right.
going to pour into it. And then if they get enough of those votes, or each of those votes translate into a grading system to where it can change, at least on the site, what people see about the total sink or swim. And it could be added to the end of the episode, like, hey, this was the audience's vote for this one. They disagreed with the judges. Because that's where you really get that interaction, right? And then when you have the after party for the Twitter space that they host, that's where it can be brought up, like, hey, you guys said this, but guess what? We ended up doing this. Like, Noom, for example, didn't get as many swims, but since that time we did X, Y, and Z, and we also had our community, like, look at the votes, we outvoted all of them in this. Right. I think something like that would be really cool and engaging for the projects, the Hello community, as well as these individual communities, to have that dialogue with the judges, like, we proved you wrong and here's why.
Right.
Because we don't really have that unless it's like 5 years down the line when a project is successful. So
Yeah.
I think that would be cool to have that sort of utility. But what do you think about
No, I agree. I think voting is the is a massive one that, like, that seems so simple and, like, easy to do. Like, why, let's just implement. Like, hey, we can vote now with the token like we did before, and we're only gonna put it on these certain projects, just like how you need to buy to watch the show, you need to hold a certain amount of tokens to then vote. If you hold them out a certain
Yeah.
to vote, that how does that help? It brings them on the Twitter after space, or like the after party, right? Or the show.
Yeah,
And
it
then
ties it all together.
yeah,
right?
and then it's like, okay, now we have, like, utility to then utilize, hold the token. It helps everybody out, like, and that way it also continues to, for projects that are on the show, it also is like, hey, but then the question would be then, okay, let's say they vote, then what's their point? They're just going to sell their tokens right after that, right? And then it's like, okay, well,
What do you mean?
like, let's say after episode 2, let's say, for example, FX1, their holders got hello, and now it's like,
Yes.
okay, well,
No,
the
no, no,
show's
no.
over.
This is what I'm saying. This is the difference. It's not if you hold a certain amount of tokens, it unlocks your ability to vote. You pay for the vote in a token.
So just like one token every single time.
One token per wallet, right? So
That's
you can,
wild.
but those tokens can be burned. But it's like it's one
But
token.
yeah.
Like what is that? Like 2 cents or something? I don't know. Whatever that is,
and
right?
it's unlimited votes, so you could vote as much as you want. But then those
Exactly,
that's
and
interesting.
paying exactly, and it could go unlimited, or they could cap it at a certain amount. But either way, you could talk about token burning. You could talk about
But
tokens
then
getting recycled into the project.
then
right?
people start thinking, okay, how much? What if I buy 50,000 tokens and use all those just to get on the Twitter space to start talking about my project again?
Right, again, they can do that.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. The whole thing is that the token is is part of the ecosystem, which it doesn't
Right.
necessarily feel as much like we talked about this even before Hello was Hello. It was back in the Doge Dash days, right? We talked
Yes.
about virtual arcade, right? Where everything you go to, whether you're going to watch a show, whether you're playing a game, you have to use the Hello token
Yeah.
to do it.
Yep.
Right? So it's like if you want to bowl another skeet ball game, you've got to pay a token,
Yeah.
right? And it's like when that starts to function more within the ecosystem, and it's like, oh, hey, if you want to be in the arcade, you have to have your tokens in order to play. That
Right.
would be where I think it's going to be, like,
That would be
again,
huge.
It's
I like
it's
that
a
one.
use case. It's a utility. And so I think that would be good. And then you can again have the voting. That can be the voting on the Hello app for the Hello TV app debut, and then you could do the same thing when it debuts on mainstream channels. And you can
Yeah.
say, hey, for the next week, voting is back open, and like let's see what now we've heard what the crypto public has to say. Let's hear what the mainstream public has to say. So then people are again marketing their
Yeah.
projects to try to get the votes. And
Just, I think we talked
Again,
about it last week, just like
utility.
American Idol, where it's like you can call in to
Right.
get your vote, but this is like, hey, if you want to see more about this project, you can choose to vote, and then at the end we can bring them all back, like something like that, like that'd be
Absolutely,
that'd be
and
massive.
you're getting and at that point it would with the mainstream, that's where you could just you've got people, word of mouth is just going to be crazy to spread it. Like, hey guys,
Yeah.
we need people to vote for this. Like, we
Yeah.
need to do X, Y, and Z. And then what I think would be great as a reward for those projects that either got the swims or they got the most votes is that they had a special episode. It could be filmed remotely where you don't have people come on site, but it's filmed remotely where you do a Where Are They Now? And it's done during the debut of season 2. And it can be very easy to edit and clip, right?
Yeah.
But you at least have that, hey, you've got enough votes, so we wanted to bring you back to show that you proved the judges wrong. They did the same thing with Shark Tank, right?
Yeah.
Where it was like, hey, this project was on in season 1. Let's see what they're doing in terms of total sales and revenue.
Right.
Or like, let's see where they're at now. I think that would be, it would connect the ecosystem in a way that it's currently not connected right now.
Yes.
And be much better for it and add utility at every step in the process.
Aside from that, what other things would you like to see? Because I think that's a main one. I honestly don't know why that hasn't really been implemented. Maybe they're waiting for the actual show to come out on mainstream. Maybe that's something.
But I don't think they should. I think it should be
right.
throughout
But
the
do
season.
you? But I know. But do you implement it now? Like you put it down and like, hey, episode 3, we're now voting.
Well,
then,
it should have been for episode 1, but now it should be for mainstream.
It should. So that something around that needs. Hello, team. Something around that needs to happen. Please. It's so easy. It's easy to like. Please do that. Like, come
and
on.
you don't have to do it for the volume of projects.
No.
It's just the ones that are on the show, and you should already have them set up based on the voting to get on the show, right? So all that stuff should be accessible. It should just be a landing page, I guess, that it could go to. Again, we're not very tech savvy, but it sounds good to us. So that's
aside from that, what other token utility would you be looking at on like?
Okay, someone chat GPT. Oh, go for it.
No, I was just gonna say, on that note, token utility, but then on a separate note, because this is a big thing for me. What would you like to see judges wise have to deal with it? Because right now it's like sink or swim. They don't really care. Like, maybe their names behind it, but yeah.
A couple of things for this, okay? I think the first and foremost is they should, and again, someone probably chat GPT that looked like it in the Telegram, but I thought it was a great idea. For influencers that want to get on the show, same thing should happen. Hello tokens, they get spent, they get burnt, whatever, but people have to vote for the influencer they want to be on the show, so that it's not like you're just reaching out to random influencers that may or may not want to participate. True. But you have the same kind of thing with the projects on your site that you do influencers, where it's like a top 10, and if you fall below this line, then you're not going to be called to be on the show. And so people are going to try to get people to get all their followers to get them voted on the show, right? So, and you're only doing it with people that apply, so you know they're interested, they've signed up to be on the show, all that stuff.
So get this. We vote for, just like we're saying we vote for this, people can vote for the judges that they want on the show.
Right.
However that may be, let's say we get somebody like us. Randomly, stupidly, you get somebody like us. But they voted for him. That's what it is. Yes,
yeah, exactly.
Who cares?
It could even just be a top voted person episode.
But get this. Let's say they voted somebody on to the show, right? Through the Hello token. At the end, they say, hey, at the very end of this, we're going to compile all the full votes throughout the whole season, have an ending episode. However many tokens were spent to get the judges on here is what they are going for. So that way, that is invested into the projects, and then it's like, boom, you won all that money through the Hello ecosystem that Hello is now investing into your project.
Because that solves the problem we talked about last week, where the judges just don't care enough.
Exactly.
Where they're like, oh yeah, hey, sink or swim, or I could say it's like it's not a good thing, but it's really going to be a swim at the end. And it's like, you just said like 20 things wrong with it, and then you're giving them a swim because
because now you're not just randomly voting for a project. You're now voting because you're like, oh, if I vote for them and they win, they're ending up getting this anyways, so I'm paying it back to them throughout this ecosystem. Right. So they're getting those tokens, those mentorship, whatever that is, that partnership, but just the tokens of like, okay, now you won. Here's the tray of all the investments for the judges, or like you can do top three
You
where it's
want the
like
judges
judges,
pool. You
the
want the
judges
judges pool.
pool, the
First,
voting
second, and
pool.
third prize. Right. Exactly. I love it. And that's
Huge.
where you get all the utility, right? We
Yes.
need to be spending tokens more to interact with things
Right.
that
But
participate in the ecosystem, I
so,
think.
but let's turn that now on. So that's great for that. But how do we add token utility? Like, how does that help the holder of Hello, though?
What do you mean?
Like, how does that help the holder of, like, okay, so, because
Oh, it's
now
very
Hello would be investing in another project. How does that help me as, like, a token holder,
what do you
though?
mean hello's invested in it's so you mean as part of like the influencers? It goes to the influencers, it can go to the top project, it can go to whatever. You can also have it go to a pool where there's a like lottery system where people can win the lottery, so to speak, with hello of the amount, like 5% of that pool goes back to hello holders or whatever. But
Yeah.
that's not, if people are spending X amount to watch the show. If it was like one token or a transaction like that, I feel like you're going to get people that are going to do that for sure. Like I
No,
would
you
do that.
would.
I
Yeah,
would do
that's
that
true.
for
I would vote for. I
influencers.
would vote for it. I would vote for judges, and I would vote
Right.
for projects. I would. Like, I would
100%.
do that 100%.
I would do that
But
too.
yeah, because I'd vote for myself. I'd be like, let's go. Let's get me on there. But you could
But
pay. You could pay to be on there, straight up.
right. You
Which
could
is interesting.
kind of a pay to play if you got enough money.
Yes.
But even if it was just for like the influencer side of it, where you needed to have a minimum, or this would be interesting because it couldn't just be one vote like lump sum.
Yeah.
You needed to have a minimum number of votes, and then
Mm,
it was whoever had the most from that, right? So it's
right.
like you have your checks and balances to make sure there's a lot of different people that have voted for this person. Like need to have 100,000 votes, and it needs to be
Yeah.
whoever has the most dollar amount or
I
something like that.
think. Yeah, I'm just curious if that's enough for the average person, but I feel like that engages them in everything they're doing, right? Like
Right.
that brings the token to the heart of
Of the
of Hello.
ecosystem.
Yeah.
Everything that's happening, whether it's the judges on the show, the influencers getting to be judges on the show, the projects, the community, there's
Which
token utility at every turn, and that's what
which
I think everyone wants to see,
they
right?
were going to do with the NFT, remember? They were going to have them be
Yes.
a part of the producing team, blah blah blah,
Right.
which hey, let's just have it with the tokens. Like
Yeah.
why not? Like dude, that's pretty good. And I think it would mean that like you're tuned in. You're checking in on like because you're a part of
Right.
it. Like, and if you don't, let's say, hey, like, okay, let's say somebody's like, dude, like, I don't really care. Like, I'm not gonna vote. But it's like, okay, so you're holding the token. So that's the thing is like, is it enough utility for somebody that's just holding? And it's like, I would think so because it's an investment. Um, I just, I guess it's burning hello tokens.
Yeah, and that again, uh, whatever the utility, even if the utility is simply that it contributes to a burn,
Right.
right? Like
Why
that's where
not?
it's like, oh, everyone in the community stoked at every transaction that's happening, right? So
Right.
I think that would be a good utility point. I think getting the influencers to have people voted on, even if it was just for an episode, and it was like, hey, here were the top voted yahoos, and
Hmm.
here they are for this episode here. I think that would just be
Let's.
gigantic.
I think that's a good question to ask. Maybe chat or maybe like send it out to some of the team. But like, what would you guys think on this? Like, I see like that's a good idea. I agree, this is a great idea. Like, is this would this help would this make sense to help the average token holder as an investment? Because I think it is. I think it would be with the burn and whatnot.
Yeah, well, I think it's similar to like gaming, right? You don't typically achieve like play to earn. You typically don't get mass adoption as much as you will for a game that's just really fun, right?
Yeah.
Like if you have a game that's really fun, you're going to play whether there's P to E or not. You're going to want to play a fun game, right? And have that level of competition, whatever. And I think this, like, it's a good show, right? And I think people want to feel like they're participating. And I think if you have that check-in point with the token, you garner that.
Let
But
me
right now,
Here's
I
the
think that
difficult.
people are more audience members, they're not participants.
Hmm.
And I think to participate in an ecosystem is important when you're looking at token utility. And right now, I think that they're just like, here's the issue that I see long term if something like this isn't implemented, right?
Oh,
If
yeah,
you're
okay.
always waiting for, like, if you're waiting another 6, 7 months for the next season of Killer Whales to come out or whatever new
Hmm.
standalone IP they're creating,
Hmm.
it's not moving fast enough. It's not moving fast enough for crypto. Like,
Yeah.
that's just the reality. Crypto, 24 hours in crypto is at least like 3 days in the regular market,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's so fast and everything moves so quickly. So I think not only do you have to incorporate something like this, and this can be their flagship show, but I also think it would be really cool if through the Hello token, I want to get your thoughts on this,
Yeah.
they empowered other creators to have their IPs show up on their platform.
Right.
They had a pay where people can again vote using the Hello token for the projects that they would like to, or for the IP, whatever shows it is. And typically, if their focus was on shows that needed to be voted on, whether it's reality TV or whatever, you're having it at the heart of the Hello
Right.
ecosystem, right?
Right.
Again, and you're getting more shows than just like one or two a year, and you're
Yeah.
getting creators to pour it in, and you're only getting the best shows from those creators that are pouring in their own
Right.
IPs because it's the ones that are voted the highest that actually show up. So anyway,
Yeah.
I was thinking like, what does this look like long term? And if it's just like a Killer Whale season 1, season 2, season 3, they need more utility throughout those
Right.
seasons, right? But B, I think we need more shows. I think we need more content, more of a reason to engage in the ecosystem, right?
Right.
So I think if
To
they
make it the
open it up,
arcade. Make it the arcade.
right, but they got to open it up to more than just battle, like Galactica or whatever, or
Right.
Galaga or whatever it's called, right?
Right.
You got
Right.
to have Pac-Man. You got to have, oh, hey, I don't want to play an arcade game. I want to go do skeet bowling, or I
Right.
want to go shoot some hoops, or
Or I
so I
want to
think they
watch the
need.
sports game. I just want, like,
Exactly. Right.
yeah.
And so I think a good way to do that would be to you got to empower other people, not just the team, because if it's just the team, it's never going to move fast enough for all these various productions to take place. But if you were like they want to be the mainstream crypto hub, you have to empower other people and incentivize them to bring their content here.
Yes.
That's what I think long term in order to
Right.
get that utility really needs to be
Which
like ironed out.
which adds the question of, are there enough eyes on this project to do the voting system right now?
For what?
For, let's say that it gets implemented for season 1, is there enough eyes to, or that people would actually do it and utilize it, or is it going to be like,
It's
okay,
a percentage game, dude. It's a
yeah,
percentage game. Like it doesn't have to be like 700,000 votes for a project. It could be
right,
7,000 votes for a project. But if they win over the other project, like it's competition. You
yeah.
drive other projects to be better, and by doing so, it's going to
I mean,
drive Hello to be better.
when you look at the voting before the show, when we had that voting system, that was the talk of Hello, talk of the town. When you went to other
Right.
telegrams or discords, everyone was pinging, "Hey, go vote for us! Go vote for us! Go vote for us!" We got in the hundred thousands of votes. Like we
Right.
did, we got super high, and that wasn't even, you didn't even have to pay anything. So clearly, that, if we're talking about did it work, it 100% worked. People were there. People were voting, right? And I'd love to see, like, I mean, there's so much data probably behind that to whether you can see is, okay, are these like people that are refreshing and doing it, or like how does that work? But I thought you had to connect your wallet. Beside that, because the biggest thing is, would it work for season 1? And is it even possible anymore? I don't know that it is. I don't know that it might even be possible.
I think it would be possible before like the March 11th release for sure.
Yes. Oh, at least on
I
their
think
website, right?
right, at least on their website, just a field where you can vote, you can connect your wallet, and you can vote for it. I think that would be great. I think again, when we talk about the Hello ecosystem, there's got to be more interaction with the token with the individual IPs that are being produced. But I think the long term is truly, if you think about it, if you're talking about Hello being a network, you have to bring on other IPs that also have the chance of being really successful, that are voted really highly, and having an element of voting using the Hello token for those projects as well
Yeah.
builds out a complete ecosystem where you're not relying on just that one arcade game, right?
Yeah.
You're not relying on just that one Killer Whale show, which is great, right?
Right.
But you've also got other people that are being brought to the project through this other IP that was brought in.
Right.
And that's where I think they can really be successful and be the name brand. Gala Games doesn't just have one game. They might have a game that's their biggest game there that has the
Right.
lion's share of the market, but if you're relying on just any one project, the second, or not project, but product, the second something else comes in that's marginally better, or not even better, but just steals market share, you're suffering. And
Yeah.
that's just long term. I think that's where
That's
Hello is already thinking. And we're just trying to like,
that's a
hey,
sh-
here's some ideas, maybe as we have like a brainstorming session about what we could do there. So let
yeah.
us know what you guys think. I mean, we always want there to be more utility, as I know Paul does. He said that that's an emphasis that they're going to be placing going
Yeah.
into the future. Definitely between seasons 1 and season 2. I'd love to see it if they could get it before the mainstream launch. Like we said, just a
Right.
simple vote on the site for, hey, is there a reason to still hold the token or is there not?
Right.
Like that's what a lot of people are straight up saying. Like, what is the point of holding the token rather than just waiting until the next season and beyond? Now, of course, if you believe in the project, you believe in the team, you believe in all that, you trust them to actually come out with the token utility, just like we trusted them to come out with a mainstream distribution partner like Apple TV.
Right.
But I think to get those things rolling prior to season 2 would be really good because it would be an indicator of things to come. So
Yeah.
that's
Because
that's
I think
worry.
it solves the questions of, okay, now the judges have stake in this because they had to vote or pay to get on there, and now they're putting their money where their mouth is and saying, okay, I'm swimming this project because I think you should get the prize pool, you know. And I
Right.
think that's a huge way to do it, and I think that kind of solves all
It'd
the
be awesome
questions.
if the judges split the prize pool with the project that swam.
Yeah,
So it'd be like you just stuff like that, right? It's like
yeah,
what are they're doing all this like it was different with Shark Tank because when these people hop on a Twitter space, they're like, "Oh yeah, you're dumb, you're dumb, you're dumb, yeah,
right,
whatever." But when Shark Tank, when they hopped on, they were pulling up their past and like,
right,
"Hey, no, Lori, I invested in this project and we were able to take it this. You invested in this one. Where are they now?" Like
yeah,
that kind of a thing, right? It's like that's where it's like, "Oh man." Like, yeah, there's track record and you've
right,
got more than just like there's no bragging rights here. It's
right.
like what's lost if you either sink or swim. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that utility would bring that full circle,
I
which
do.
would be
I love that.
great. Anyway, that's
Yeah,
let us know
that's
what
a
you guys
brainstorming idea right there. There you go. That was. I just want to preface that we did not talk about this at all beforehand, but I think this is very beneficial and should be talked about though. But yeah,
brainstorming session. They're organic people. Clearly, none of these ideas they don't sound cohesive enough or anything to be anything other than organic. So
but,
let us know what you guys think in the comments. Again, we always like to keep it 100% honest, right? We're going to be 100% honest with a slightly optimistic
mm,
viewpoint. I like to
very
say,
good.
right?
Yes.
We see it as opportunities for improvement, not negatives, right?
Right.
They're just opportunities for improvement. And I think that the team has shown us over the past 2 years, 2+ years now, that they not only take feedback and incorporate it, but they're good for it, so
Right.
to speak, right? Like you don't look at this project and go, are they just going to fold up shop and like, not do anything? Like they're getting Apple TV. They're getting these partnerships with people on Twitter that have like millions of followers and that are engaging with this and talking about it every episode, before the episode, after the episode, during the episode, they're promoting it. So they're getting all the things that we'd like to see. I think the biggest thing now is utility. How can that be incorporated? And everything that succeeds with killer whales, how can that be tied to the Hello token?
Right.
Because right now, you could just come out with the killer whales token, right? And
Right.
it like people don't necessarily connect the dots to Hello as much unless it was like, oh, you go to Hello to vote for this. Oh, you go to Hello to vote for the best influencer on the show.
Right.
They're sharing it with their people saying, "Hey, vote for me here so that I win and I beat Ran." Because
Yep.
I'm Wendy and I don't want to lose to Rand in this, and I'm Rand, I don't want to lose to Wendy in this. So I think that
Yes.
would be cool to see. But that's all we got for you guys today. We just wanted to kind of connect and go over the episode. I liked the drama with FX1 at the end, so I want you to see that, Bomb. And
I'll take a look.
um,
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to have the recap of the shows, not just in the after party, but also like a quick little, again, for Shark Tank it was like a 3-minute video, like for the projects, where not even that, where are they now, right? And it
Right.
was like, this project appeared in season 5 episode 2 and they're called this and here's what they're doing now. And something like that would be really cool, to be able to just engage every step of the way with the community, with the project, with the influencers and judges, and with the Hello token, because that's,
Yeah.
I think, what everyone wants to see woven into these things that's done. So anyway, that's what we have for you guys today. Let us know what you guys think in the comments, if there's anything else that you would add in terms of utility or what you're thinking there. But otherwise, I think we can get Bomb's words of wisdom and then take it from there. I mean, what do you think, Bomb? Do you have anything for us?
Yeah, this is going to be a simple words of wisdom. Very simple.
Hmm.
Yeah, which is going to tie into something that happened. But here, let's get some words of wisdom.
Here we go. Here's one of the announcements that we have coming. There's another one that's going to be next week potentially.
Yes. Let me see if this works. Oh, it does work. Okay, let me grab this camera real quick
Mm.
and transition over the words of wisdom for those of you that don't know it. But it's very simple. This is how we do words of wisdom. 2 words today. Just 2 words. Take. I just transitioned again. I don't know why.
Yeah, your take. I know what your words of wisdom are already going to be.
Right.
The acronym
obviously.
is TP, isn't
TP.
it?
Take profits. Those are the words
Boom.
of wisdom today. Take profits. That's all I'm gonna say right there.
I love that. Do you have anything that coincides with that words of wisdom today, Bomb?
Yes, I do. You take profits, you get things that you've been hoping for and dreaming for your whole life pretty much sometimes. So for me, that happened, transpired, took some profits. Some people are like, Bomb selling his Hello bag. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Because I wanted to get something that I really wanted. So I took profits and I got myself my dream car of getting a Tesla.
And just to clarify, whoa, hold on. So just to clarify, Bomb did not sell his entire Hello bag.
That is true. That's true.
Yeah,
I did not.
What
I
you
hold.
said was like that you are out, which
Yes.
is not true.
No.
Okay, he holds a lot of Hello.
I do hold a lot of Hello. But yeah.
Say that again. Say the last part. I'm sorry.
I took some.
You.
No, you're good. I took some profits, and I ended up purchasing a Tesla, which is one of my dream cars. So Hello is the way to get there. Wonderful. I'm gonna make a Twitter post about it today. Probably going to the beach or something. Take a quick little picture of that. I didn't use the Tesla fund. Just kidding. Hello Helping Hands fund. I didn't use that, which probably people think. But
no, it's this. We still see it in there.
We still see it. But yeah, I mean, like the journey, you think about it, it's been years since I wanted to get this. I finally got it, and it's been cool. Just like if you look at the process of it, to where it's like, oh, I was able to use part of like working obviously was a main factor of it, but using the funds from Hello, I took some out and I got a Tesla Model Y, Chris. It's the long range. Didn't go with performance because I figured, still got enough get up and go. But I snagged one. I'll take a picture and I'll put it on Twitter today and kind of say hello. Thanks to the Hello community. Like it was kind of made possible through all that stuff. But Yup. Exciting stuff.
Super excited for that. He showed me. We actually met up. He drove it over, and I got to see it. And I'm like, dude, that embrace was real right there. I was like, man, we've been cooking this for you for so long.
It's tangible. Finally. It's here. Yeah. No. I have not driven more in the past like 2 weeks than I probably ever driven, just because I want to be in the car and like driving it. It's so awesome. So I appreciate it, guys. Congrats.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was huge. I mean,
yeah,
that's so for the next video, I think what we're doing again, the Triple H, I shot some ideas over to Bomb this last week about what I think would, because we were kind of struggling to come up with like, oh, like promoting this and doing like a game show and stuff and
yeah.
like helping people out that like really could use it. Like what do we do? I think we've got some pretty good ideas for that I think you guys will
Right.
like to see, where it doesn't come across super like it's almost like we didn't want to come across kind of like what Paul was saying with like the Lambo rap, where it's
Hmm.
like, oh, like look at us, we're like this or that. We wanted it to be like about the people that would actually need the help,
Right.
because if we're helping people that need help, chances are the last thing we want to do, like we want to just come across completely humble, right?
Yeah.
And just like, hey, we just want to help and see if there's something that we can do to help you and your family type thing.
It's
And so I think we've achieved
yeah.
that with these ideas versus before it felt kind of icky and we didn't want to do something like
Because
that with those ideas, just talking through what the filming would look like and all that
right.
stuff. But
I mean, you got to think too, like
anyway,
when you're doing whatever it is with a camera behind you, and like, hey, like it's like okay, they're just doing this for like likes or views, and it's like, no, that's not even the case. Like, we're just literally don't have like 100,000 views. It's literally just like, no, this is a community-driven thing that we're given, and we're
right.
just helping people out. But the second
So
thing too,
you might see something around like a grocery store and people that like, because let's
yeah,
be real, prices are crazy right now, so some people can use a little bit of help in that department. So
yeah.
that's anyway. We won't get into too much of that now. But what were
Quick,
you gonna say?
quick side note, guys. There's a reason why life was so hectic, and I think we missed a week of streaming. I did not have a car for like 10 days, and so it was just wild, kind of moving around. Because yeah, just the way the whole getting a Tesla, selling my car, it was just like it was weird how it all worked out. But yeah, but now we're up and running, and we should be good to go. No Killer Whales merch yet. That's another token utility, which I think is super easy to do. It's hard because when you look at it though. Merch is an interesting topic, which I love, obviously, because that's what I do. But that is hard to do to have people pay for it when, like, they're like, okay, why would I pay for it? I don't know that people would necessarily pay for merch as much as, like, the voting aspect. But I mean, it doesn't hurt
Oh,
just to
I
have it.
disagree entirely. I think
Really?
I would. Yeah. Are you
I mean, yeah,
100%?
using tokens to buy it, I can understand that.
The thing about crypto that I feel like is so true, it like if paying with a credit card made it you disassociate the fact that you're actually spending the money
Yeah.
versus like handing someone cash, it's like 20 times that for crypto.
Yeah.
You can spend like send to people, and actually I shouldn't say this, but like $75 when they're like, oh, like, hey, I ran out of ETH. Can you just hit me up with
That
like
is
ETH? It's like, yeah,
true.
here you
That
go.
is
It's like
true.
you think about that. That's like $75. Like
Yeah.
that's a meal, like taking like a date
That's
night or something.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel
That's
like
true.
people would view it like that, like, oh, I could do $50. Like that's nothing. And I feel like you'd actually get people paying more with tokens than you would rather like regular fiat or dollars. But anyway, wait,
Um,
what I'm saying there?
I promise after this live bomb, you have permission to manage my Hello Moon bag if you got a Tesla out of Hello. Hey, it's holding the token for a long time and trusting in the team. You know, that's kind of where it goes. But yeah, no, that is one. But BDE, I would love to. From for those of you that have been with us years ago when we were talking about Doge Dash socks and wearing socks to play the game with Pardon. Oh my goodness, that's where the whole thing came from. But dude, I'd love wearing even a Hello jacket or a Killer Whales jacket. I think it'd be sick. Finn would rock the hat. Clearly, you know he would wear that. Yeah, I'd love it. I think it'd be awesome, and I think it's pretty easy to do. But I don't know that. I think they've just been dealing with so much stuff from Killer Whales that might not have the bandwidth for it right now. But I think that's a super simple thing to just put just a tab on Hello that says shop, and you can put in your info and grab a hoodie. Like it's pretty easy. Um,
Yeah. And it would even be cool if like a portion of sales like went toward the Hello leaderboard on like Doge Dash and all that stuff, which would be super easy to
It's
do,
token,
I
but
feel like.
it's part of the token utility. It's part of the ecosystem. It's part of the whole thing. It's there.
Oh my
Who do
god.
we need to
Hey,
talk to get this going?
Freddie Bear's in the chat. What's up, Freddie Bear? How much is left in the Triple H fund after Bomb's Tesla purchase? See, this is why the video should have preceded the Tesla purchase, so that they wouldn't worry about. So, can you drop the Helping Hands wallet in the chat here whenever you have a chance, just so that people can see like the amount that's there. Nothing has been taken out or anything like that. Make sure it's transparent. But I love it. Freddie Bear, we know that Freddie Bear loves to troll, which he's actually quite good at it. So good at trolling that when we were doing the spin the wheel, he happened to troll everyone on the stream by winning like 5 times in a row and stealing everyone's prize pool and tokens. So of course he wants to know where the fund is going because he wants it to be part of a prize pool or something. But it's great to connect with you guys and just like have this dialogue with Bomb. So Bomb, thanks for taking the time to hop on too. I know it's like your Saturday morning every morning is spent with me, and I know that there are better ways to spend a Saturday morning. So thanks for hopping on and doing that. But
I just sent. I don't have YouTube up, but if you could, I just sent it to you in Discord. If you want to just grab that.
Okay, yeah. Hold on, let me see if I can do this without. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just dropping this here. That is the Triple H wallet. If you guys want to check it out and see how much is in there right now in terms of tokens, I think it's like it's there going along the bottom of the screen, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's the amount of tokens that should be in there. And you guys, please, this is what we want to do. We want to audit Bomb to make sure.
I actually think it's
Tesla updates with with that fund.
It's actually higher than what's on the bottom of the screen, actually. So it's a little bit higher, but yeah.
Look at that. You're committing fraud in the right direction.
Exactly. Yeah,
you're adding more money instead of taking it out. That's the right kind of embezzlement, right there.
Right kind of embezzlement.
You love to see it. They're putting money into the pool instead of taking it out. Robin Hood, right there from Bomb. PDs, you guys are you guys are 2 pillars. There it is. Ask the team to send you guys some merch to show the Hello fam. You guys are awesome. We'll send a note and say, hey, here's a screenshot from BDE. So I think we got to make it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, BDE also a pillar of the Hello community. Mm-hmm. Well, we appreciate you guys. We'll let you guys go get back to your weekend, but thanks for hanging out with us. And Bomb, thank you for the words of wisdom. Take profit so you can achieve your dreams like Bomb did via the Hello team and community. So thank you guys for all that you guys have done as well. Along this journey, it's been fun, and it's been really lucrative on top of being really fun, which is the best kind of party to have, right? Especially in crypto.
It's rough to see the price right now, but that's crypto. It goes up and goes up and down. But that's part of the joy, in my opinion, because now we're able to come together and kind of be a community, and I think it's neat. But always 100%. A pleasure getting on with you guys. So much fun. And brainstorming ideas with Finn on a Saturday morning before coffee. Come on.
it's crazy that some of these ideas actually somewhat make sense when we're connecting when we are. Piff, hey, appreciate you. JMR, thanks for hopping on as well. We'll see you guys next time, but we'll be looking out for your Twitter post there, Bomb, and I'll be liking and sharing that. Super excited for you, man. That's super cool. Something you've been talking about for over 2 years has finally become a reality, made possible by Hello as well, which super cool stuff. So anyway, we'll take a look at that when you post it, but have a great weekend all, and we'll see you guys after episode 3 to talk about that one next weekend.
Yep. See you later. Bye. Wait, transition. Sorry, tech. Bingo. See you guys later. Bye.